let's go back to the governor's comment or question. So on each like Russia over China, or Russia versus China in Africa. Paseka?
Heather, would you like to take that one? I thought I saw you trying to come. I thought I saw you come in this direction.
Okay, go ahead, Heather.
Yeah, I mean, I just I understand the point, and I think I did address some of it too in what I said, and that we definitely think, you know, from an outside perspective, it's easy to say what China should do and what China should not do. Sometimes I'm just, you know, we're thankful that China is honestly still around with the amount of counter-revolutionary energy that the United States is putting into, especially under Trump, anti-China rhetoric. There's anti-China violence here all the time. But yeah, I mean, I think that there are so many dynamics at play that are dynamics internal to the Communist Party there that, of course, we would support the left to move toward more international solidarity. And there is the history of solidarity, both between the Soviet Union across the continent of Africa, fighting on behalf of people's struggles, and against imperialism on the continent. But yeah, I just think that it's a complicated matter, and that's why in our view, it's, I mean, I hate to like beat on a dead horse, as they say here, but in our view, you know, Pan-Africanism and strengthening the unity across the continent, and also anti-imperialism together targeted at the United States and Europe, those are the two most important causes that could really bring the defense of the continent forward.
Okay, thank you very much, Heather. I saw that Dr. Poe wrote that we need Pan-African mass organizations for Pan-African mass empowerment. I think it is in line with what Heather just said. And Quentin, I don't know if you want to, you want to say something about what you wrote. Quentin posted that there is a difference between imperialism and investment policies. Quentin, do you want to elaborate on that?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now, but we can't see you, but we can hear you.
Okay, I'll get my thumb over my camera just 1 second. The only thing I've noticed is that they seem to be, the use of the term imperialism seems to be very broad. And I don't think you can use the term imperialism as broadly as the other, as people have. By the definition, isn't imperialism, I mean, you're talking about diplomatic or control of a government, or the use of force. I mean, in China's investment policy is for China to make money and protect its national interests. Africa comes up short when they start negotiating these international trade or these agreements. Many countries come up short when they get into these extended contractual, using the framework of the West, agreements to, for trade. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, thank you very much. So it's 11:13, and then we want to have those conferences like for no more than 1 hour and 30 minutes. But if we can do 1 hour 15 minutes, I think that we should wrap up, unless we have some particular contributions or some people who have some questions. Maybe they posted and I could not see them. So if you are there, if you want to say one thing, Harvey, you wanted to say something, Harvey?
Yes, Nyaka, you neglect to take my my questions. I've raised my hands like 2 hours ago.
Oh no! But do you want me to? Do you want me to tell people why I did that? Or it's okay?
No, that's a different conversation that you and I should have at a different time. But
okay.
But here's my little contribution to the point, and that's again, congratulations. That's a great conference. I appreciate it, and I invited some people to come. By the way, Nyaka.
Okay. So
I just want to say simple things. One, there's a new scramble for Africa, right? Two, countries don't have friends; they have interest. They don't have sentiment. They have their own personal interest. Well, it's the Africans that need to get organized themselves. China is as imperialist, as good as China look today, is as imperialist as others. I hope you guys have heard about dead trap, right? I heard you have heard about Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka today has lost its port to some of the Chinese contract it has signed, because in some of these contracts that are being signed with Chinese company or China itself, there's no transparency, and there are conditions where there are dead trap where Africans would, or nations would be losing their own personal infrastructure. Sri Lanka has lost its ports, right, for the next 100 years because of some of the contract he has gotten. Yes, China can be an advantage for us unless it gives us an alternative as Africans who we need to deal with. But the first people that we need to deal with is the Africans themselves. And let me give you some numbers. According to the World Economic Forum, Africa will reach a population of 1.7 billion in 2030. And its combined consumer and business spending at that time will be 7 trillion. The census also predict that in 2050, a fourth of the population of the Africans, and the number is expected to increase to 40% of the world population. The number one richest of a nation is its population. Taking to that we have natural resources. 70% of the world population is in Africa right now. 9.6% of the global oil output is Africans. 70% of the world platinum is in Africa. 70% of the world cobalt supply. One half of the world gold supply. 2.3 world magnesium supply. And 35% of the world uranium supply. That's Africa. 75% of the world coltan is in Africa. My brother and my sister, what I'm simply saying to you is this. Everything is in Africa. We don't need China. We don't need the US. However, we can have them as partner. And I'm telling you, China is more dangerous than the US, because it's not only going to get African trapped, but it's also going to bring a population within the African countries. So my point is that until the Africans themselves organize themselves and look out for their own interest, and we have leaders that are visionary, that will basically put the interest of the African people first, anyone who comes will be just as imperialist as the other country. At that point, I'm done. Thank you, Nyaga, for giving me this 5 seconds.
Thank you so much. I gave you more time because you waited, but next time you're going to have less time than that. So do we agree?
Right.
Okay, no problem.
That's okay.
Okay, no problem. So Milton, do you want to say one thing before, and then we're going to wrap up, and then because this is Zoom, and then today is it is Independence Day in Ivory Coast, and then our independence was negotiated, and then so we are still in the clutches of French neocolonialism. So, but it is a very important moment for my people, and for the conferences that we want to organize, we will be doing that. Today we had Heather and Paseka. Tomorrow we're going to have Dr. Safro. But no, Dr. Safro is a philosopher asking all those deep questions here. So maybe one day we can have him here on the panel so that he can express his vision of the world. And how you can support this platform: listen, volunteer speakers, propose yourself as speakers, help promote the platform, bring people, so that we can own the conversation. And we did it in the DC area. With my friend Governor, and then some other ones, and Heather and Maurice Kane, and then so today we're here and we want to take the conversation to the next level. So thank you so much. Is there any other question or any other comments? And if not, we know we're going to end this conversation and ask the speakers to give their final words. Okay, so I have my friend here, Sia. She's at Howard University. I don't know if she's full professor or associate professor, but one thing I'm sure about is that she's no longer an assistant professor. So Sia is going to be a speaker maybe like on September the 4th with Maurice Kane, who is the director of the Friends of the Congo. And so yes, we will be talking, engaging the conversation, and we will be doing that And then if we are resilient and we are more serious, listen, we can really empower, we can start like a real movement online, and the movement is going to be on the ground. This is what we're trying to do. Okay, so comments and no comments, so we're going to conclude. So Paseka first.
My last words that importantly, the last comment about China being more dangerous than the United States, that I find a bit problematic. I do not want to get into it, but it is fundamentally problematic for us to argue that the Chinese have done the horrors that we've seen the United States do in the Middle East and in parts of the continent of Africa. We would be misplaced if we were to argue that the Chinese have done half of the damage that we've come to witness throughout the world, and especially in the global south. When we know that China, we might be arguing about, as we had already discussed, about their intentions and what they have done about taking ports and whatnot. However, the argument of them being as murderous towards the continent of Africa and the global south, we would be incorrect. But that's just something that struck me, and I just wanted to address it and say that we have to be careful about what we say before we say it. But overall, thank you very much. I really appreciated the discussion, and we learn as we go. Thank you, colleagues.
Okay, thank you very much, Paseka. Heather.
Hi, comrades. I just want to humbly thank everybody for your time and for your participation today. I mean, I think I summed it up when I spoke earlier, but our task here as a movement is to draw together in solidarity to support the struggles on the ground that each of our communities are facing, and specifically on the African continent. It is our struggle here in the United States to bring out people of all backgrounds in a multinational environment and make sure that people learn about Africa, that people commit to the struggle, that we see that we have a role to play in the diaspora, we should say, that we have a role to play in opposing true imperialism, which is the desire to expand markets at the expense of human lives for the ruling class, the same European and now American rulers that directly controlled Africa not so long ago. And in the case of the United States, that supported apartheid, that did the things that we are fighting against today. So I am so excited to take the steps that we need to take in this international movement for solidarity and to advance Pan-Africanism and to advance the working class struggle around the world and the struggle for liberation. Thank you so much.
Yeah, please don't go. Noel.
Sorry, Nyaga.
Paseka, just one second. Noel.
Are you speaking to Noel? Oh, yeah. I wanted to speak to Noel as well.
I don't know, because that I asked them your question, but they did not answer. Maybe they thought that they answered. So can you say, maybe hopefully this time your network is going to be with us. Go ahead.
I was saying, and I was thinking that the problem must be tackled at the grassroots. If we have a democracy, we have a good governance, we have accountability, so our governments will be prepared to negotiate and to fight against imperialism.
Okay, that's a comment. Thank you, Noel. That's a good conclusion. Thank you, Noel. So Paseka.
Yes, but I just wanted to answer Noel's, because initially it was phrased as a question, and he had one on youth. And I just wanted to say quickly that if you look at the sporadic uprisings in the continent, whether it's Zimbabwe, whether it's Nigeria in the west of the continent, these sporadic protests have been generated by youth. So youth are cognizant and are waking up to the realization that our current leadership is not that puts Africans first. It's one that is Yeah, no, it's one that struggles when it comes to putting us first. So youth are cognizant and are seeing, and they're doing something about it, even though the leadership continues to kill it. So that's just a comment on that question.
Okay, so thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah, thank you. So thanks everyone. Thanks to Paseka, Pharumele. Thanks to Heather. Great speakers, knowledgeable speakers. We have wonderful perspective about Pan-Africanism, internationalism, and that human solidarity against any type of oppression. Here, the questions that, with the question we need to answer, all of us, is that if all the powers that we are talking about, all of them are evil, which one is the lesser evil? So that would be the question. And then if there are people who think that China and Russia are the lesser evils, then, maybe we will have a conversation one day about that particular topic. And then so that those people who think like that and those who think the opposite can meet so that we can have like a debate about that. And of course, as you said, you should be able to come and sustain, your argument. So thank you, people. I appreciate you, all of you. And then if you don't have your contact information, I don't know if you can still put your email in the group chat before we leave. But those who receive email from me, you will hear from me in a few. And this is your platform. Today I'm moderating the conference. Next, in 2 weeks, I do not want to moderate the conference. And then we want many people to moderate these conferences, and then so that it can be our project, not just a project of a few individuals. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I let you run. Thank you. Let me take Tonia's email, and then those who want to go, you can go. And the conference is officially over, and then we can still be here to chat a little bit as I take the emails of the people who just posted them. Thank you.